Which running backs should you avoid in fantasy football this year? I'm going to talk about the running backs I have not drafted or barely have drafted this summer. As you guys know, I've done a bunch of fantasy football drafts, best ball drafts, and whatnot. I'm up to 152 drafts, I think. So I have a lot of data here. I'm going to go over it and talk about why I have avoided these guys. A couple of these guys I actually don't mind. I would like to draft a little bit more, and I'll explain why I haven't drafted them. But yeah, we're going to get into all this. So please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have fantasy football rankings, sleepers, busts, cheat sheets, anything you need for your fantasy draft this August. Also, we have NFL mock drafts for 2026, NFL picks against the spread. We grade every signing, we grade every trade, and it's all at walterfootball.com. It's all free, so come check us out. All right, so this is a list of players I barely drafted, so less than 1% means I've drafted them one time out of 152. There's going to be some 1%ers, just means two times out of 152. So a couple names here on this list are definitely going to stick out like a sore thumb, but I'm going to go top to bottom just so I don't miss out on anyone. Tajay Spears, I have not drafted just once. I actually remember that draft. I'm thinking like he fell a little bit. I'm like, okay, maybe I could take him here, but I just have no interest. So Tajay Spears is a pass catching running back. Cam Ward is a mobile quarterback. Mobile quarterbacks tend to dump the ball off less often to running backs than the normal quarterbacks. So that's one strike against Spears. The second one is that Tony Pollard's the starter. I know people want to keep pushing Spears. Like I listen to some fantasy football shows on YouTube. If I'm walking my dog, I'll turn on the one that comes up at the top. And a lot of these channels have been pushing Spears this summer, and I just don't get it. He's clearly the backup behind Pollard. Now, I know that Pollard can get hurt, but so can any other running back. And Spears is kind of like a premium based on his ADP. It's premium backup. Like he's going like 10th, 11th round. It's just way too early. Like you can take Garendo in the 13th round. He just has so much more value. You can take a bunch of other guys. I've highlighted them on the site, like Tyler Algier, 15th round, Jalen Wright, 15th round, Will Shipley, 17th round. Like all these guys have more value than Spears. Also, Spears is playing with the deep backups in the first preseason game. He's playing like right before halftime when all the starters are long gone. So that's a strike against him. Jerome Ford is the start of this theme here where you have just mediocre or worse starting running backs on crappy teams that will eventually be surpassed. So Jerome Ford, currently the starter for the Browns, but like who cares? I mean, the Browns stink. They're not going to score many touchdowns. Ford is not going to have a good year. He's eventually going to get supplanted by Dylan Sampson. He's like I said, he's going to start for a few games. It's going to be fine, but he's not going to do much. And Sampson's going to be involved pretty heavily. And who knows? Maybe Quinton Judkins will, those charges will be dropped or something. We have no idea what's going on there. So he could always come back, which kind of clouds the Ford situation even further. So I have no interest in him. Elijah Mitchell, I kind of don't know who the Chiefs running back is going to be behind Isaiah Pacheco. It could be Mitchell. It could be Kareem Hunt. It could be Brashard Smith, the rookie. I don't know. I know that Ben Wassley, who's been on our show a few times, he called Tyron Tracy last year. His Tyron Tracy of this year is Brashard Smith. So I've been drafting more Brashard Smith than Elijah Mitchell. Ramondre Stevenson fits the bill as a quote unquote starting running back on a bad team. Although the Patriots aren't that bad, but still, it's kind of like the same thing. Stevenson's going to be surpassed by TreVeyon Henderson, who was just awesome in his first preseason game. I did a video on Henderson where you should draft him. I keep getting him in the 5th round. His ADP has gone from like 507 to 504. It's still not high enough. I've taken in the 4th round a couple times if I'm drafting like 406, 405, and I don't think I'm going to get him on the way back. But Henderson's kind of like a must draft in the 5th round, and Stevenson's he's going to get benched eventually. He got benched twice last year, and that was for Antonio Gibson. So I don't trust Stevenson to be the starter for very long. Javonte Williams, another one of these veteran starters who's not going to be starting for long. Javonte Williams, it's a shame what happened to him. He was such a dynamic back coming out of college. He broke a ton of tackles in college, and he looked like a great prospect. And he had like 4 great games to start his career, and then he tore his ACL. He's never been the same. I don't think he's going to last very long as the starter in Dallas. I think Jaden Blue is going to eventually pass him. And even if he doesn't, like Williams is not going to get you much. I don't think he can carry a heavy workload given his previous injury history. So stay away from Javonte Williams. Najee Harris, the one time I drafted him was long ago. As you may know, he suffered the fireworks incident. He's lost depth perception in his eye, so it doesn't sound like he's going to be playing meaningful football anytime soon. So definitely don't draft Najee Harris, even if you think like, oh, 13th round, I got great value. No, just don't. Alvin Kamara, maybe he's the one who sticks out the most. I would stay the heck away from Alvin Kamara. He's he's going in the 4th round. I think even like 6th round is too high for him. He's an older running back, and so that in itself is bad news. He's playing on a horrible team. I don't know if you guys saw Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler quote unquote compete for the starting job in that Sunday preseason game. Both were awful. Rattler was especially awful. Shuck at least showed a little bit of potential, but then he threw that pick 6. So it's just an ugly situation. And here's the real thing with Kamara. It's like the Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think everyone knows that by now. Given that Kamara is so old, do you really think that like come week 14, 15, 16, 17, like the fantasy playoffs, when they come around and the Saints are like 2-13, do you think like the coaching staff's gonna be like, oh, let's pound Kamara here? No, they're going to give Devin Neal more carries. They're going to give Kendre Miller more carries to kind of like figure out who their long-term potential successor is going to be if they have one. They kind of have to figure that out because they're not playing for this year. They're playing for next year. So Kamara's touches in those crucial weeks might go from like 20 to 25 per game to like 10 to 15 per game. So I would just stay away from Kamara. Just don't draft him 4th round, please. If you take anything away from this video, don't draft Kamara. Alexander Mattison, unfortunately, he got hurt today. I drafted him once with Mike Lachine. He was recommended. We kind of joked like, wouldn't it be crazy if Madison just has this playoff run because Devon Achane goes down? But that's not going to happen now. Madison's injured. Dave Montgomery, another one who may stick out. I think Montgomery took a huge hit this offseason with all the changes in Detroit. So he lost Ben Johnson, who loved Montgomery. Ben Johnson is turned like mediocre running backs into running backs of like gold. Like, look at what Jamal Williams did that one year with those 17 touchdowns. Montgomery is a touchdown machine with Detroit. Now Ben Johnson's gone. And coincidentally, you had Jahmyr Gibbs now running with the starters, even though Gibbs is always quote unquote the starter. Now he's definitely the starter. And Montgomery is going to take a back seat. Also, Detroit lost 2 interior linemen this offseason. It's not good. They lost one of the best centers in the NFL, Frank Ragnow. Kevin Zeitler was outstanding at guard last year. They're both gone. So Montgomery is going to take a huge hit, and he's still being drafted as if things were great. Things are not great in Detroit. I think their offense is going to take a big step backward, and Montgomery is the one main Detroit player I think is going to be hurt the most. I think most of them are. Maybe not Gibbs so much because if they're playing from behind, he's going to catch a lot of passes. But everyone else, I'm avoiding this year. Okay, a couple other ones. We're going to do the less than 1% ones before the 1%ers. Cam Scatterbo seem to be being drafted like 7th round sometimes, which is insane. Like, why are you drafting Cam Scatterbo? He's the 3rd running back on the team right now. I think people are it's kind of a syndrome called prisoner of the moment syndrome because everyone remembered that Arizona State Texas playoff game where Cam Scatterbo was awesome and like people fell in love with him, rightfully so. He was awesome in that game, but he's not a great prospect. His agility scores were awful. I just don't think he profiles as necessarily an every down back. I mean, I don't think it's out of the question that he could eventually, but not right now. Plus, he's dealing with injuries too. So we had Jordan Renan, who's a really good reporter. I'll call out bad reporters as you guys have seen these videos. Jordan Renan's a great reporter, and he said that Tyron Tracy is 100%. That's his quote, 100% the starting running back, and he's going to get all the touches. So don't draft Cam Scatterbo. He's kind of a trap, I think. Bashal Tutin I've took once. I like his talent. He fumbles a lot, unfortunately, and so are the coaches going to trust him? I don't know. I mean, they have ATN, they had Bigsby. Bigsby's looking great in training camp practice. So I don't really have any interest in Tutin. If ATN were to be traded, I think the Jaguars were showcasing him by starting him in the preseason game. So if that happens, I think Tutin, I will definitely have interest in Tutin at that point, depending on what his ADP is. RJ Harvey. So this is one of the guys I want more. The problem is I like people being drafted around him much more. You have the receivers, Emeka Buka, Ricky Pearsall. I like them more than RJ Harvey. The running backs ahead of him. I talked about Trey Henderson before. Chuba Hubbard. I like those guys more than Harvey. So I'm just not getting to him, and I think he's okay to draft. I don't like that he's not playing on third downs at all. His pass protection is awful. His football IQ is low too. Like he's not going to see a lot of the running lanes. He's new to the running back position. I think he's someone that I think was being overdrafted before the J.K. Dobbins signing, and he's dropped only a little bit. I was hoping he'd dropped to like seventh or eighth round, and then I would take him. But he's still going mid-6, which is like a touch too high for me. But again, like the talent is there, the ability to catch passes is there. Like I think that he could potentially have a good year, and I'm a little worried that I don't have enough of him. But like I said, I like the other guys around them more. DJ Giddens, I didn't know who was going to be the backup behind Jonathan Taylor, whether it was him or Khalil Herbert, so I just kind of avoided the situation. It seems like it's going to be Giddens, so I'll probably draft a little bit more Giddens right now. The one percenters, you have Raheem Mostert with the Raiders. I think Charlie recommended that once, and I don't know who the other one was. I draft live with people, and they recommend picks, and we swap rounds and stuff like that. So someone recommended Mostert. I mean, he's a handcuff for Genty, but not an exciting one. He's way past his prime, so I don't like him. Zach Moss, I took him way early. I drafted in like March. I took him twice, and then I kind of remembered that he was hurt, so I stopped doing that. Kendry Miller, that may have been a recommendation from someone we had on. I don't like Kendry Miller as a player, so I wouldn't have drafted him. Marshawn Lloyd, same thing. He's the backup for the Packers, but he's always hurt. So it might be someone else. They have a bunch of running backs there. Like Brooks was the backup in the preseason game, so could be him. Just Lloyd can't seem to stay healthy, so that's why I've been avoiding him. Plus, like I said, lots of other backups there. So these are the running backs I will not draft. I have not drafted outside of like Harvey. I want to get more Giddens. I want to get more outside of that. Except if they're like weird circumstances. Like I said, if ETN's traded, I like Tootin more. If Tracy goes down with injury, I like Scatabo more. Just right now, I would avoid these guys except for Harvey and Giddens. So I'll come back next time with the quarterbacks I'm drafting the most and the least. Hope you guys like these videos. Please let me know if you don't have any interest in these guys, or if you like some of these guys and you think I'm crazy for not drafting them, or let me know who you're not drafting if I didn't have them on the list. So just like I said, please like, subscribe, comment below, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content, and I'll talk to you in the next video.